Join us, the Mr. and Mrs. Morgan you know, for a new 15-minute weekly recap about the most recent episode of Survivor Season 42.
Come on in. We'll appear in your podcast feeds every Wednesday morning, so you're all caught up before the newest episode airs on Wednesday night.
Like, subscribe, and share while you outwit, outplay, and outlast.
Oy, 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 oy.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Yeah We Know podcast. You're in the ring with Jimmy and Hot Rod. Rod, what are you hot about today?
Oh, Jimmy, I'm so glad that you asked. Listen, I think that everybody out there that listens to this podcast, and bless you, might think that I would go into the fact that my guy Seth Rollins still doesn't have a WrestleMania match at this moment. But no, I'm not going to do that. What I am going to do is go in on Sonya Deville and the WWE's decision to completely smash up the only decent match you had on SmackDown where people were actually wrestling by having Natalya and Shayna Baszler, two wrestlers no one cares anything about, break up the match and then get added to the championship match at WrestleMania. A tag team we have never seen wrestle is now wrestling for the tag belts at WrestleMania. Jimmy, come on, what's happening?
In WWE, you have to grab that brass ring. You have to shatter through that glass ceiling. And the only way to do that, Rod, the only way to do that is to interfere in a match that actually, has some good chemistry, good wrestling in it, and the only thing on the show that was good. So, that's the only way you can do it in the WWE. Sorry, bud.
Oh my goodness. Because I am just, as I've mentioned, I'm gaining an awful lot of respect for Naomi. The things that she can do in the ring are very, very cool. And Sasha Banks is somebody that's well respected. And you can tell the crowd is all in. That was a wonderful match that was being wrestled. And then we just had madness. Just madness.
It's funny. This is the only way WWE really knows how to put people in matches or start people on a push. Heaven forbid you have them win some matches.
Right.
Win 2 or 3 matches, keep going. Hey, they're a good squad. Maybe come out in, matching outfits or something like that. Make them a tag team and put them in. No, we're just going to interrupt a match that we've invested our time in. And it's a shame, but they want to get as many people on the card as possible. So, yeah, we do have a fatal 4-way match for the championships. And I don't think we're going to know if it's an elimination match or if it's the first fall. I'm assuming it's the first fall because why would they give the women any time at all at WrestleMania, right, Rod?
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of time, something that I imagine you might be hot about on that SmackDown relates to what you just said there is, heaven forbid they had more time to wrestle if you didn't open SmackDown with 24 minutes of talking. Jimmy, I know you loved a talking segment backed up by another talking segment.
Okay, so talking segments are great. Now let's talk about Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. We'll talk about Friday, but then we'll talk about the whole setup because I think the setup's been fantastic. But Friday, Roman comes out and just says, "Hey, acknowledge me, whatever." And then Heyman's like, "Oh, Lesnar can't be here." Ha ha ha! He got a text. Lesnar can't be here. Okay, but then he gets another text 5 seconds later says, "Oh, he's in the building." That changed quickly. Like, who is this source? Anytime you are in front of a live audience of, let's say, 6,000 people, and you go 24 minutes without any action, people are going to get tired of it. The Lesnar thing was ridiculous coming out. "I'm out for blood, Roman. I'm out for blood."
Yeah.
But when he said it the first time, I thought that was going to trigger something, and I thought he thought that was going to trigger someone coming out, but no, it didn't. And going a half an hour without any wrestling in a wrestling show is really not good. But I will say this. We have seen Roman and we have seen Brock in a lot of different matches. The build-up, the good guy Brock, the bad guy Roman, as we were talking about in the pregame show here, amazing build-up. This is a WrestleMania main event. People want to see what's happening. Even though I think everyone kind of knows where it's going, I still think it's been an amazing build-up, Rod.
Yeah, we got to be honest with ourselves. There's not anything different that WWE really could do. They're not going to reinvent the wheel and come up with some new, fresh way to promote this match or have an angle to it that we've never heard of before. That's not going to happen with the old man still running things. But as far as, tried and true things that he's done before, the forklift, right? That was absolutely fabulous. Brock seemed to absolutely know how to handle himself with that forklift, ripping doors off of trucks. That's absolutely wonderful. The Madison Square Garden moment is iconic now. mean, that visual of Roman Reigns standing over Brock Lesnar all bloodied, holding up both belts. I mean, you know how many times has that been cut into a promo now? So, I mean, absolute pitch perfect work by the WWE here. And as much crap as we give them from time to time here, Jim, we absolutely have to give them their bouquets here, because they are showing what they can do when they're at the top of their game with two superstars that have put in the time, that have complete buy-in from the crowd, that have marks out there on both sides. And it's a thing of beauty right now. But I'm a little bit worried about the rest of the card.
Well, there's some decent build up here and there, but I think that they've gone so hardcore into this that they've kind of let other things slip aside. There's a few things we have to talk about the Saturday show. First of all, there are heavy rumors that the main event for Saturday is going to be the KO show. The last thing on the show for Saturday is going to be Kevin Owens and Steve Austin. What do you think about that closing the show?
Well, my thoughts would be Austin better have the knee braces on if you're going to have him close the show, because having Austin come out and just do a KO show where we all know that he's basically going to pass out a couple of stunners, maybe a military press, some beers and all of that, that's great, and we're all going to pop for it. But I think fans ultimately are then going to go to Twitter at the end and be like, hey, what kind of ending was that to WrestleMania? Why didn't we see? And then whatever match that was good from Saturday, they're going to be saying, why'd you disrespect them by not having it as the final match? So Austin better be really, really getting in the ring, sort of, right? And actually some back and forth and like at least one bump or something himself for that to me to qualify for the main event. How about you?
Maybe Austin takes a stunner from Owens and then no sells it and gives him a stunner, something like that. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of talking segment main events, especially at a WrestleMania. So yeah, I agree with you. There's got to be a lot more physicality between the two for sure. And really, you're telling Becky and actually no, this would be Charlotte and Ronda. Really,
Yeah.
you're all four of the women. You've got two title matches, and they're both going in different directions. We'll talk about that here in a second. You're basically telling them that they are not worthy of the main event on that day. I cannot see that happening. I really think they're going to have Ronda
Yeah,
and Charlotte close.
Yeah. I think because if you talked about how there's so much oxygen being taken up by Brock and Roman, and I agree with you, but the second amount of oxygen is being taken up by Ronda and Charlotte. So I would think that that's definitely what's going to be the main event of Saturday night. Now the KO show probably will go off right before they then have the main event, but I think that's still going to be the main event.
Yeah, I mean, it's missing something like we talked about last week. I still think it's missing a little something. Ronda's doing the best she can right now. I think she's just kind of, we need to figure out what Ronda's character really is, because she's this badass mother, literally, I guess now.
Right.
But also she smiles all the time because she has to smile, because if she doesn't smile, she just looks like she's disinterested. So, Charlotte's doing the best she can to bring it out in her. I think the match is going to be hard hitting. I don't think it's going to be the best women's match of the weekend. I don't know. I just think it's missing a little something still.
I do too. And as much as I love Charlotte Flair, and I come on here and I cape for Charlotte Flair so often, I'm being struck right now by how she may be a bit of a one-trick pony, right? And there's nothing wrong with that at all, I suppose, right? The Undertaker kind of was always the Undertaker, you know what I mean? So I think Charlotte Flair always kind of has to be this, right? I was just thinking to myself, I don't know of a circumstance where Charlotte Flair could ever get over as the face. I don't know how it could happen right now, because she, to me, and I wonder if you agree with me on this, Jim, this is a bit of a hot take for me here, but I think she garners the biggest amount of negative reaction as almost any WWE superstar right now. What do you think of that statement?
I think she does. You have Roman Reigns, who gets a lot of negative reaction, but you still have people who cheer. I don't know how many people besides you cheer Charlotte Flair on a regular basis. And it's interesting because she's been a face before, and she'll be a face again. But I think with Charlotte Flair, everybody knows she's better as a heel, and they just want her to be a heel, so be a heel. So I think it'd be pretty tough for her to do that.
Yeah, and personally, I think what we're not seeing enough of, and this again, just as we said, play the hits here, WWE, and Charlotte's doing a little bit of this, but they should be playing up that Charlotte, like, this will prove you come in here, Ronda, with your UFC experience and your former WWE belts, but I'm the 13-time women's champ, and I'm about to beat you again and dominate you in the ring. I mean, like, that's just where we need to be going, and Charlotte needs to be demanding more respect from the crowd, essentially, right? You know, not acknowledge me, right? Like, not biting Roman too much, but Charlotte needs to be a little bit more, like, yelling at everybody, like, how do you not respect me? What she does every once in a while, but I think she needs to go to that a bit more instead of always going at Ronda, right? Like, go at the crowd a little bit more than Charlotte does a little bit. I think that might actually be just that tad one extra ounce of, like, a little bit of more seasoning. You know what I mean? Like, just one extra little seasoning thrown on it.
Let's hit the other women's championship match between Bianca Belair, who legit hurt Becky Lynch in a match, and Becky Lynch, who hurt, in quotes, Bianca Belair. Bianca has a fractured bone in her throat. So it's so bad, Rod, that they had to pull her from Monday's appearance. And The Miz is going to go and make an autograph signing or an appearance for her. Obviously, this is all part of the storyline. She said she's coming for the hair next. Rod, are we going to have a title for a hair match at WrestleMania?
I hope not, right? I kind of hope not. I don't know that we need that extra little anything on this match. I think we should just let this match live and let Becky Lynch cook. I think she's going to be incredible, and she's going to have a great match here with Bianca Belair because she is just she is a tried and true top-notch professional wrestler, and I think Bianca Belair is a raw still at times, but top-notch talent, and I don't know that we need to have that extra bit on this match. Let's just have these two women go at it. We haven't seen a great rematch between them since Becky jobbed her anyway at SummerSlam. Why do we need the extra hair angle?
Well, and two, if the hair angle's in there, you're basically just saying that Bianca Belair is going to win, which is fine. I mean, I just, you want to leave a little bit to the imagination, I would think.
Oh, so you think Bianca's going to take her out, huh?
Well, if the hair is on the line, definitely she would take her out. If not, I think it's up in the air, but I still think Bianca's going to win.
Yeah, see, I think you're right about the hair, but as of this moment, it's not officially a hair match now, is it not?
No, correct. It's not now.
So as of now, then I'm still going to say I think there's still a chance Becky Lynch wins this thing. I really do. Because, I mean, the only way I guess it would make sense to me that if Becky doesn't win this is if maybe you're going to try to have Becky Lynch go back to babyface, right? Big time Bex is more babyface instead of heelish. Maybe you'd start working that angle if she loses it. That'd be the only way it would make sense to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that she'd have to go a long way to go back to being a babyface because she's really, playing it hard right now. But WWE goes, who knows what they're going to do, including Rod, your boy, Seth Rollins. Still no WrestleMania, no way to get to WrestleMania. Something happened this weekend. It was reported that Cody Rhodes did sign his WWE contract. Rod, this is going to happen tomorrow, I have a feeling. I think your boy is going to get a match tomorrow for WrestleMania Night 2 at WrestleMania.
Well, listen, you just made me feel a lot better because I was disappointed at the end of Raw there, where Seth Rollins was
dumb.
Oh, where he was reduced to, I'm just going to try to steal your idea of having Stone Cold Steve Austin on my talk show at WrestleMania, and I was just like, oh my God, this is the architect, this is the visionary, this is the man who started Shield, I mean, like, what are we doing here with my guy Seth Rollins? And now you tell me that maybe Cody Rhodes is going to parachute in and save my guy Seth Rollins and possibly have a match that a lot of people are going to be talking about at WrestleMania, and that has me excited.
I love Kevin Owens more than anything in the world, and his reaction was pretty much how his reaction would have been in real life. What are you talking about? That's my idea. What are you doing? That's a horrible idea. I thought that was great, but
they wrestled a real good match. I'll give them that.
Oh, of course they did. And the whole idea would have been fine if Cody Rhodes would have come out. But no, still nothing. So are we going to have Rollins open the show tomorrow, or are we going to have him close the show again? Closing the show again twice in a row? I don't know. I think I would open with Rollins. I think I really would open with Rollins.
Yeah, you could open with Rollins, or you could also open with AJ Styles, right? We're still waiting for AJ Styles to reappear.
Or we could do back-to-back talking segments with AJ Styles then Seth Rollins.
Why
That could
not?
be
It worked
cool
out
too.
so well on SmackDown.
It was a great SmackDown show for everyone who paid their hard-earned money to go to the show for sure.
All right, so listen, I don't
Um,
want to skate past this because you're not somebody who
yeah.
comes on here and makes declarative statements very often. You're telling our listeners that made sure to listen to this on Monday before Monday Night Raw happens. You're telling people right now that tonight they're going to see Cody Rhodes. How much percentage do you want to put on it here, Jim?
I would say it's interesting. I would say I would go 75-25. He's Monday night. The 25 would be he would be at WrestleMania. The at WrestleMania would obviously get your WrestleMania reaction from the crowd, but having Cody Rhodes come out on Monday Night Raw would get people talking for 2 straight weeks about WrestleMania. So you'd have him come out tomorrow, and then you'd have him come out on the go home show as well. So I think he's coming out tomorrow. I would do tomorrow.
Excellent. And do you think that you're pretty well sold that he's coming out and it's got to be Seth Rollins because there's basically nobody else open with him to even have any kind of a decent feud with right now, right?
Yeah, there really wouldn't be anybody else, and Rollins would have to say nobody in the back and do it. I'll challenge anybody to WrestleMania. I'll do anything. Da 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 da, and then hit whatever new music Cody Rhodes is going to have, and go from there. But I listen. I think it would be a pretty epic moment. I think it would be a terrific match between the two. Cody's a great wrestler. Rollins is an amazing wrestler. They need to have their time. They need to get as much time as they want. They need to have a 12 to 15 minute match at a WrestleMania, which is saying a lot for a WrestleMania. So I think they could blow the roof off the joint. We'll see.
Where is the Raw at tomorrow or this evening? Excuse me.
Jacksonville was last week. I am not sure where Raw is
I
on
guess
the
I'm just trying to gauge how
21st.
much do they want to blow the roof off of wherever they're at. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it would really be just it's in Chicago. They're definitely doing it tomorrow in Chicago. Chicago's AEW's like home turf. Oh, it's
Oh, see, there you
amazing.
go. I love it. I love it. Look at that gig guy. They're gonna put a thumb right in your eye.
Oh my goodness, because AJ Styles is there. That's the preview. Wow. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be really
Let's
cool.
talk
Yeah,
AJ. Let's talk AJ
yeah.
Edge as well here, since we just
AJ
mentioned him.
Edge. AJ got killed by Edge, what was it, 2 weeks ago? Um, Edge came out 2 weeks in a row in very dark and very menacing. AJ, I think, is going to come out and do the whole you've rekindled the fire in AJ Styles. You want the AJ Styles who's been a champion. You want the AJ Styles who went toe to toe with The Undertaker. You got that AJ Styles. I think that's kind of how that's going to go.
And are we excited for that? Do we think that we're gonna get a good match out of these guys then?
I think it's going to be a very, very good match. They're going to both go all out. They're going to enjoy working with each other. AJ Styles is one of the best wrestlers in the world. Edge is very good as well. So again, it's going to be one of those matches that is going to be very underrated when WrestleMania is over because there's so much light shown on all the other matches.
Yeah, but it's basically the backbone of WrestleMania. You know what I mean? If you don't have matches like this, right? If you don't have matches like Drew McIntyre and Happy Corbin, you know what I mean? Like you got to have some backbone to be able to have the bright lights pop in the other matches.
Or you could give 3 more minutes to AJ Styles and Edge and just not have Happy Corbin on the show. But that's okay. They've done a pretty good job building that up. So
Yeah, but you could not have Happy Corbin, and I'd be fine with that. But you got to have the Scottish Warrior, and for some
you
reason
got to have Drew McIntyre.
you've
Yeah,
decided to have the Scottish Warrior involved with Happy Corbin. So
you got to have him for sure.
because
Um,
The Scottish Warrior, let me point out what the Mrs. Morgan
yeah,
says about him all the time, right? Like that dude just looks like a professional wrestler, right? Like that guy just shows up on camera, you immediately are like, oh, that guy's a professional wrestler. You know what I mean? He's got the long hair, he's like 6'8", he's got the complete pecs. I mean, like Drew McIntyre just absolutely looks the part. So whether fans buy him or not, which shout out to Peter Rosenberg of the Cheap Heat podcast, he said that the reaction for Drew McIntyre at a house show with no cameras was rather tepid. So perhaps all of the crowd pops we're hearing for Drew sometimes are television created, but the WWE's definitely got to be invested in him. So I'm excited to see what the Scottish Warrior and Happy do at WrestleMania because they've certainly given some time to it.
Yeah, they're going to get 4 minutes, Rod. That's what they're going to do. They're going to get 4 or 5 minutes, and there's going to be a lot of interference, but then McIntyre will beat Happy Corbin. So that'll be a WrestleMania moment for Drew McIntyre, and then hopefully he gets to move on to a Universal title matchup with probably Roman Reigns. So that would be where I would go with that one. Speaking about champions, Rod, your boy, your man, Gable Steveson repeats as NCAA champion. That's everything he has to do in the NCAA. You're going to see him a lot tomorrow on Raw. I believe you're going to see a video package for Gable Steveson tomorrow on Raw.
Yeah, and I'm gonna continue to just answer Gable Steveson for numerous questions that you ask me, and at one point I'm finally going to be right. So that's that. God bless Gable Steveson for being my go-to answer when you ask me, Rod, who's going to be the mystery whatever. I always answer Gable Steveson.
Well, hey, it could be Gable Steveson and Seth. If Gable Steveson comes out and challenges Seth Rollins to a WrestleMania match, oh my goodness, the internet might explode. I think that would be funny. I would enjoy that. I would enjoy that a lot.
Listen, as long as my guy Seth Rollins gets a match, and then my crush of wanting to make him appear into the WWE, Gable Stevenson's fighting him. I mean that'd kind of be like when we talked about KO and Seth Rollins being tag team champions. It's another like smaller version of that.
Yeah, they're programming to us for sure. Something that we did hit on last week, as it was we were getting the news as we were recording. But Scott Hall did pass away last week. He was 63 years of age. Kevin Nash, I think, announced that on Instagram that once his family got together, they were going to end life support. Um, what do you remember about the bad guy?
Just that, right? Just that he to me was one of the first times when I was a kid where there was a bad guy that showed up, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. I kind of like this guy. I want to be this guy. Let me do the razor's edge. Like, Mom, can I get a toothpick? No, you're absolutely not going to run out in the yard with a toothpick in your mouth. You know what I mean? I was definitely told that as a kid. I remember that specifically. And then I think to David Shoemaker, writer at the Ringer, the Masked Man, longtime wrestling scribe, did a bit of an essay, right? He wrote like an essay about Scott Hall, and he talked about how Scott Hall, in an era of so many guys refusing to understand, that losing is okay and it doesn't ruin you and you can get other guys over, like he thrived on it, and it's basically what made him a fan favorite, I think.
It did, and he really had. His career is really interesting, Rod. If you ever have the time, which of course you do because you don't have a job and a family, but to do a little retrospective on his career, because one of the things when he first came up, he had this huge mustache, which I think you would have loved. It was kind of like a Magnum PI type mustache,
Nice, Tom Selleck
and
style.
exactly, and he, the thing that about him is he didn't have the charisma. People didn't think he had the charisma, and he couldn't do that. And then he came in to as the Diamond Stud in WCW. Showed a little charisma there, and then obviously with the Razor Ramon gimmick, he just went all the way up to 11 and just hit it out of the park as that character. Uh, he, whatever you want to say about him and Kevin Nash as behind the scenes people, in the wrestling business, you had to kind of play politics and everything, and they did change that signing. The idea for the invasion, the idea for the NWO changed the way wrestling went forever, and you can never ever take that away. And yeah, it was pretty cool. And he was a student of the game, and he just had a lot of bad choices throughout his life that led him down some paths that really ended his career a little too quick.
Which makes him like so many other professional wrestlers, unfortunately.
Yes, yes, and he had a few extra chances, but unfortunately, that did not happen.
I like what you said there about the
Unfortunately.
NWO thing, though, because like Kurt Flood is a baseball player, and I can't believe I'm referencing baseball in a positive light here after what I've said about them over on the Balls and Brew podcast recently. But Kurt Flood is a baseball player
Yeah.
who wasn't necessarily a great all timer, but will always be remembered for the way that he essentially started free agency, right? And like you said, I think that like Hall and Nash are just always going to be remembered for what NWO was, and the Saturday night or the Monday night wars that came from it, and the T-shirt sales, and Hogan with the biggest villain turn of all time. I mean, like their tentacles are in all of that stuff, which is going to forever be in the wrestling lore.
It will for sure, and he will be missed. And WWE, listen, that Monday they had a great video package on him. And then they did it again on SmackDown as well. Give credit to them; they know how to do a video package. So good for them for getting that up there. Anything else you hot about today, Rod?
Well, the only other thing I would say that I am hot about today is WrestleMania is not right around the corner. I want to see so many of these matches. I'm actually kind of hot about what they're going to do that's going to mess up some of these matches that I'm excited about. Are we going to get somebody thrown into this male tag team match with RK Bro? Is somebody else going to get tossed into that match? Is some other weirdo going to show up and smash a match and then Adam Pearce is just going to throw them in? I'm just worried about how much time we have between now and WrestleMania, Jim, that they're going to mess something up on me.
There was a WrestleMania, and I'm kicking myself. I can't remember it right now. It was anyway. They had a tag or they had an Intercontinental Championship three-way and a Hardcore Championship three-way, and everybody was doing real good. Their storylines were great, and then all of a sudden they switched two of the competitors, and it didn't make any sense at all. It kind of went down the hill, and I'm kind of concerned that it might happen again as you because we still have another 2 weeks, and the man can change his mind many, many times in the next 2 weeks. I think you're going to be okay with RK Bro. I
All
think
right,
you'll
that's
be
good.
okay with
And
that.
I think we should also talk about Pat McAfee and Austin Theory here again, Jim, because I
Yes.
know, are a huge Pat McAfee fan. He definitely seems to be as over with the fans as any wrestling color commentator has been in quite a while.
Nice. Yes.
But do we need all of what we're getting, Jimmy?
What's the end game? What's the goal? Is the goal for Austin Theory to if Austin Theory wins the match, how is he going to win the match? Is he going to just kill Pat McAfee, or is it going to be a competitive match and Austin Theory gets lucky? What do you want to do with Theory moving forward? Is he going to be a champion one day? And I'm talking Universal or World or WWE or whatever you want to call it. Or is he just going to be another person? I don't think they know that right now, and that's what worries me about this match because Pat McAfee's never going to be a full-time wrestler. He's got way too much stuff going on, and honestly, he's just as valuable right now in that color commentary spot. He does such a good job. You can tell he's enjoying it. They need him there. So I don't know. What do you think? What do you think they're going? Where do you think they're going with this?
They're clearly, in my opinion, they're playing off of what you said there, right? Pat McAfee is so over, he's so known in so many different circles that I think they're literally just trying to sponge any of that off onto Austin Theory, and I think your read on that is really correct. They don't know what they are going to get out of Austin Theory, and what I think they're going to do, so much of it is going to hinge on this WrestleMania match. So that's another thing that I think makes it absolutely amazing is that, like, I think this is really one of those matches, and you talk about this sometimes, about how there'll be a light script for it, but then like things will kind of change as the match is going on. And I think there's a real possibility that this match goes one way or another based on what kind of reaction they're getting on the day of the match.
See, I think they're going to have this heavily scripted.
Really?
Heavily
Okay.
scripted. Yeah, because McAfee has a ring in his studio. He bought a ring years and years and years ago because he could. So I think Theory has been an indie just going over the match, and I think they're going to do spot for spot exactly what they want to what story they want to have. Because
So
I
you're
like
worried
what
about
you're saying
McAfee not
there.
being able to be quite that on the fly, I guess. That makes sense.
I'm worried, and also Theory. While he's still young. First WrestleMania, going to be nervous. McAfee's going to be nervous as hell. So yeah, I mean they should work it out. They should script it out, and make sure that they do get that story across. But again, I know I've said it a few times. I just don't know where they're going with that. If you want to have what's the next match for Theory, and what does McAfee do on Friday?
Well, see, that's the thing. I think maybe McAfee then has to take some time off, right? Like, that's basically what you have to do. McAfee has to take some time off, and it's because he got beat by Austin Theory. Because I don't think there's any way, shape, or form moving forward, at least anytime soon, right? Like, you can repair Austin Theory losing to McAfee 6-7 months from now. But if you're actually trying to work him into something here soon, by, say, SummerSlam or Survivor Series, there's no way he loses to Pat McAfee. So I'm with you here that I mean, I don't know. Maybe Pat needs some time off because the NFL draft is coming up. I've often wondered about that, right? Is like certain football things where take precedence because of Pat's, podcasting work and this huge contract with the the sports betting site. You know what I mean? I just wonder if there's maybe some times where he can't devote as much time to the WWE, and literally all that's going on here is Pat needs some time off, and the easiest way to tell that into a story is that he gets beat down by Austin Theory.
Yeah, but again, if he gets beat down by Austin Theory on I think that's on Sunday, whatever. If he gets beat down on Sunday, he's got a YouTube show on Monday. You know, so he can't be killed. Or
True.
maybe or you know what? Maybe he goes all the way with it and takes that Monday off and just has someone fill in for him too.
Yeah, see, I think there's a definite possibility of that with how many times he's brought people through the studio now, you know what I mean? So I think that they're gonna play into that. So that's what I think has to happen is I think you're gonna Austin Theory is just gonna have to be even more hated by the fans. I think that's the only way you're gonna garner any heat out of him, and what a way to do it by beating down the fans' favorite color man. So I think that's probably where we're headed, don't you?
Yeah, and then do you have him go for IC title type thing, or well, I
Well,
mean, I guess it's the
certainly. I mean,
United
you and I
States
both know
title.
Ricochet's not going to be sitting on that IC title for long, so somebody's going to be taking that from him.
Yeah, unfortunately, Ricochet, which the Intercontinental Champion right now does not have a match at WrestleMania, mostly because they don't have anything in WrestleMania.
Well, but also that
Um,
tells you what they think of Ricochet, frankly.
Precisely. Yeah, precisely.
But hey, listen,
Um,
Knoxville, I'm still ready for Knoxville. You know what I mean? But he's still over. I'm still excited for
it's an
that match.
anything goes match. Anything goes match. So you're going to see all the Jackass people come down.
I think
You
you're
are going
right.
to see so much. This is going to be like a 20-minute match, and there will be probably three or four wrestling moves in the match,
But
and
Knoxville's
then
going to take some
everything
bumps,
else.
though. Knoxville's going to take some
Oh
bumps.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
I think this
He's
match is going to be cool, man. I hope to not be wrong. I'm really marking out for this match to borrow the wrestling parlance there, but I hope to not be wrong.
I hope so. I think that'll be pretty cool. By the way, I forgot the RK Bro match is just right now. It's still a singles match against the Street Profits. There's no way that Alpha Academy is not going to be added to that match. Alpha Academy is going to go to that match,
I would
100%.
I would assume so. I would assume so. What? But here, this
That's going to
let's
be great though. That'll be great though.
yes. But let's finish.
That'll be great.
Let's finish here with RK Bro. All right.
All
I
right.
really think Jimmy, we saw more evidence that we are totally heading towards the Riddle Orton breakup. I really do. I really think I think it's going to happen at WrestleMania. I really do. I think they're looking for that heat at SummerSlam, and they start turning that way with a move at WrestleMania.
Who turns?
Riddle. I really think Riddle's turning on Randy Orton. I'm sticking with that, man. I really think that's the only thing that makes any sense to me, man. I think Riddle is going to turn on Randy Orton because the only way that Riddle chooses to not be his happy-go-lucky, peace-loving self is because he wants, to garner further success. And he sees the path to that is, backstabbing Randy Orton and maybe falling in line with the Alpha Academy. Maybe he becomes Gable's next pupil. What about that?
I want Riddle to start talking not as he does and get a haircut and wear boots and just that would be fantastic.
That's what
Just
I'm
completely
saying. That's
change
what
his
I'm saying.
character.
Don't you think that could be something we talk so often that they need something? Don't you think if somebody somewhere was smart enough, that's one that they could lean on that people would definitely be into? I really do. I think people would be into the transformation of Riddle.
I've played this character for the last 14 years for this moment, Randy. I knew I wanted to take you out. That would be really fun.
That's what I'm
That'd be something
saying.
fun.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying. I
yeah.
really think we're headed there because how much longer is the legend going to keep doing this, right? I mean, is the legend really going to just keep sticking around with Riddle and this weird tag team where like his basic move is to like, yeah, hey brother, we're friends and I love you, but I'm rolling my eyes at you all the time. This is what we're doing with the legend. Quite the same way you talk about Edge, how we were wasting him for a little while there in that mess with the Miz. What are we doing with Orton here? He's just going to wrestle as a tag team he's only got a couple more years where he can do it at the top, I would imagine, don't you?
So anyway, yeah, I don't think he's got much time left. So
Because
we'll
he
see what
already doesn't
happens.
work that
Yeah.
much. He already doesn't work that much as it is, right? There's many times where like Riddle is supporting the whole RK Bro storyline and being like, Randy, where are you? You know what I mean? Like he's already taken quite a few Raws off.
Yeah, so they can even use that in the storyline as well. It's pretty cool. I listen, I think it's gonna be a fantastic weekend. We say a lot of stuff, we go negative on some things, but WrestleMania is generally a pretty good time. I can only think of one or two that really have not lived up to any of the hype. And this one, the main event alone is gonna be just something to it's gonna be great. I love it.
Listen,
I love it, Rod.
I was thinking the other day and looking at it logistically, trying to figure out if there was a way that I could get down to just south of Indianapolis there, and I could be watching live with my co-host of this podcast, thing that's going on WrestleMania, and then we could just immediately get a podcast up for the people with us just absolutely jacked. But alas, I don't think it's going to be there. But we are going to go for the people Sunday night after WrestleMania, though, right, Jim? That's tentatively our plan, is it not?
Oh, we have to. There's no question about that. We're gonna go, and we're gonna go hard. We're gonna go strong. We're gonna go late into the evening. We're gonna have a fun time.
All right, so then we'll have one more, which will be our WrestleMania predictions pod, right? The next one will have to be our WrestleMania predictions pod, right?
Yeah, we went over the card last week. It really hasn't changed very much since then. So next Sunday we will record our final go home show for WrestleMania, and then it'll be great. Also, speaking of shows, we've got a couple of shows coming up on the Morgan Yeo Podcasting Network, including a Survivor show. Correct?
That's right. We have
Episode 2.
episode 2 of Come On In. The Mrs. Morgan, and I's promise to recap a episode of Survivor for you right before the new one airs on Wednesday in 20 minutes or less. We started at 15 minutes, and Jimmy, you know me, I get a little verbose at times, so we're over the 15 minutes, but I promise we'll be below 20 minutes for you. So we'll give you the quick and dirty recap, tell you what happened last week in the Immunity Challenge, who went home. We'll give you the twists and turns, what alliances are forming, what alliances are breaking up, and we'll even talk about our favorite characters along the way, because that's what Survivor is ultimately about. If you didn't like the characters, why would you watch?
Exactly. So you have been listening to the Morgan You Knows Podcasting Network's very own. Yeah, we know you're in the ring with Jimmy and Hot Rod.
That's right, Hot Rod. And tune in next week to find out what I'm going to be hot about. And it probably will be the fact that I have no idea what predictions to make as of now in so many of these WrestleMania matches that are on the card. So maybe I'll be employing a flip the coin strategy next week. That'll be fun, right?